Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Is Phoebe Forrester getting a soapy resurrection Steffy's twin back from the grave? The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that Phoebe Forrester, last played by Mackenzie Mozzie, has been mentioned a suspicious number of times lately. So we have to consider what B&B's angle is. Could Phoebe be getting a soapy resurrection? Although Phoebe and Steffy started out as identical twins, the show eventually shifted gears and made them fraternal twins through recasts. Sadly, Phoebe was involved in a car crash back in 2008 and died in Ridge Forrester's Thorsten K. arms, or did she? Considering Sheila Sharp's Kimberlyn Brown, last big storyline, and all the sugar aka Janet Weber, Kimberlyn Brown drama, we've seen how even an on-screen demise can be undone with an explanation that's soapy enough. It's possible B&B could cook up some crazy story where a Phoebe lookalike actually perished. Or maybe she was secretly whisked away for treatment somewhere like John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, was once upon a time. Maybe Phoebe has actually been in a long-term coma at some European facility. There might be a whole new storyline of who secretly saved Phoebe and what their motives were. Regardless, it's been weird to hear so much about Phoebe lately. Ridge, Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Myth-Thinswood, and especially Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, have all talked about how much they miss Phoebe in recent weeks. After not hearing much about Phoebe for many years, we're suddenly hearing about Phoebe all the time. That's an intriguing change and could be a sign that a Phoebe-related storyline is in the works. Of course, Phoebe's family would be blown away if she suddenly showed back up in Los Angeles. There might be imposter accusations and a DNA test to confirm Phoebe was the real deal, which would open the door to a possible fraud story and some lab manipulation. On the other hand, Phoebe could genuinely be alive with quite a soapy story to tell and authentic DNA evidence to prove her identity. If Phoebe returned from the grave, that would certainly be a good way to bring Ridge and Taylor back together. Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, might become a love triangle loser if Phoebe makes the Tridge family whole again. Whatever the case, all these Phoebe mentions could mean something, so we'll bring you more predictions on whether she might make a shocking comeback. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Ridge, Taylor, Steffy, and Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, would all be deeply affected by Phoebe resurfacing, so stay tuned for updates on any stunning news ahead. In the unpredictable world of the bold and the beautiful, few things are ever truly permanent, especially death. While fan favorites are often taken from the canvas in shocking plot twists, the door is always left ajar for their potential return. One such character who has been long gone yet never far from fans' minds is Phoebe Forrester, Steffy Forrester's twin sister. Could B&B be gearing up for Phoebe's dramatic and soapy resurrection? Since her tragic death in 2008, Phoebe's absence has been a void in Steffy's life, one that has haunted her through many ups and downs. With Steffy's ongoing battle to regain control over her life and her emotions, coupled with her roller coaster romances and family drama, the idea of bringing Phoebe back seems more compelling than ever. But how could the bold and the beautiful pull off such a feat? Let's dive into the tantalizing possibilities of a twin's shocking return. The tragic history of Phoebe Forrester. To understand the gravity of Phoebe's potential return, we must first revisit her emotional exit. Phoebe Forrester, played by Mackenzie Mozzie, was a beacon of light in the Forrester family. The beautiful and talented twin sister of Steffy, Phoebe had her whole life ahead of her until one fateful night changed everything. In a heartbreaking accident involving Rick Forrester, Phoebe lost her life, leaving her family shattered and her twin sister lost in grief. For years, Steffy struggled to cope with the loss of Phoebe, leading to the unraveling of her emotional state on multiple occasions. The absence of her twin has been a defining factor in her character development, driving much of her complex relationship dynamics, particularly with men like Liam and Finn, as well as her fierce protectiveness over her children. Phoebe's death was a pivotal turning point not just for Steffy, but for the entire Forrester clan. A soapy resurrection, the perfect storm. The idea of a deceased character returning to the land of the living is a soap opera staple. In the B&B universe, anything is possible, from long-lost relatives to mistaken identities, and even shocking returns from the dead. Given the dramatic history of the bold and the beautiful, Phoebe's return could be positioned as the ultimate plot twist, one that would send shockwaves through the Forrester family and reignite old rivalries and unresolved trauma. But how could Phoebe possibly come back after such a definitive death? There are a few intriguing scenarios that B&B could explore. The twin conspiracy. Was Phoebe really dead? One of the most plausible and quintessentially soap opera ways Phoebe could return is through a classic case of mistaken death. What if Phoebe never truly died in that car accident? What if, unbeknownst to her family, she was whisked away and kept alive by someone with ulterior motives? In the world of soaps, it's not unheard of for a beloved character to have been secretly saved and held captive, only to resurface years later with no memory of their past life. In this scenario, Phoebe could return with severe amnesia or having been brainwashed by a sinister figure, perhaps an old Forrester enemy seeking revenge. She might not remember her family at all, leading to heartbreaking moments as Steffy and Ridge try to jog her memories. Or she could come back with a new identity entirely, a stranger in her own skin, setting the stage for an explosive reunion. A new Phoebe, the rise of a long-lost doppelganger. Another tantalizing possibility could be that Phoebe never died, but instead had a long-lost twin, a triplet that no one ever knew about. In the high-stakes world of the bold and the beautiful, hidden children and family secrets are often revealed at the most opportune moments. Perhaps Phoebe was separated from her twin sister Steffy at birth, and this third sibling was raised far away from the Forrester dynasty. The dramatic reveal of a long-lost sister could throw the family into turmoil. How would Steffy react to finding out that there's another version of Phoebe walking around, one who has no ties to the trauma of their shared past? This new Phoebe could be a force of nature, shaking things up at Forrester Creations, challenging Steffy's place in the family, and maybe even catching the eye of some of the men in her life, Finn or even Liam. The emotional fallout, Steffy's struggle. Regardless of how Phoebe returns, the emotional fallout for Steffy would be immense. Steffy has been through her fair share of grief, loss, and trauma over the years, and the return of her twin, whether it's the real Phoebe or someone else entirely, would shake her to her core. For years, Steffy has defined herself in part by the loss of her sister, a wound that has never fully healed. Seeing Phoebe again, or someone who looks just like her, would bring all of that pain rushing back. Would Steffy embrace Phoebe's return, or would the shock and confusion of it all push her further into emotional turmoil? There's also the question of how the rest of the family, particularly Ridge and Taylor, would handle Phoebe's reappearance. Ridge, who has already been stretched thin by his complicated relationships with Brooke, Taylor, and their children, would face yet another emotional challenge. And Taylor, who has never fully recovered from the loss of her daughter, would be thrust into an entirely new kind of grief. Reigniting old flames. The Rick Forrester factor. One character whose life would be dramatically affected by Phoebe's return is Rick Forrester. Rick's role in Phoebe's death has been a dark cloud hanging over his head for years. He has since moved on with his life, but the guilt of that night remains. If Phoebe were to come back, it would force Rick to confront his past in a way he never expected. Could this lead to a rekindling of old flames between Rick and Phoebe? Or would Phoebe's return be the catalyst for Rick's undoing, as he struggles to cope with the emotional baggage of their tragic history? A resurrection worth watching. The return of Phoebe Forrester would be a game-changer for the bold and the beautiful. Whether it's through a miraculous resurrection, a hidden twin, or a shocking twist no one sees coming, the potential for high-stakes drama is endless. Steffy's journey has always been fraught with emotional highs and lows, and the return of her twin sister would add another layer to her already complex character arc. As fans continue to speculate about what's next for Steffy, Ridge, and the rest of the Forrester family, one thing is certain: Phoebe's return, in whatever form it takes, would be a storyline that shakes up the bold and the beautiful like never before.